What's up, social media, everybody? Yeah, everybody in social medias. Lloyd Phillips here, host of the Lifetimes podcast. We're back. Took a little hiatus there at the end of the year. But now that the COVID doesn't have us, we're back. Anyway, check out this episode. Today I mainly talk about my love for TSA and, me catching a wild coyote on on a trip. So, all right, love everybody. Let's get to the show. Welcome back to the Lifetimes podcast.
We're back.
For all the listeners out there that listen every week, some people have been disgusted. Some people have called me. Listen, let me just have our backs here at the Lifetimes podcast. We purposely took off 2 weeks throughout the end of the time there, and then we went on a trip. And there's like so much to talk about. And then we went on a trip, an outdoor excursion to Branson, Missouri. And when we got to our place, it was in Arkansas, not Branson. And we'll get to that. Like, there's been a lot of things that happened. But, what did you came out with COVID? Did you come down with COVID or what? Anyway.
Yeah, I got the COVID.
So we purposely missed 2 weeks at the end of the year and then, some sickness. But we're back. So, and I feel bad that we didn't do it in those periods, but it's just what it was.
Well, when we were on our excursion, we should have been able to do one, but somebody forgot to tell Lloyd to grab the podcast stuff that I packed up it was a long trip too. So
yeah, so we'll get to the story, but just so you know, there was a wild coyote out there.
Yeah,
that then joined us in our camp the rest of the night, and we pet coyotes.
Yeah, fed us steaks and chicken and stuff.
Yeah, so there's that. So anyway, we'll get to it. So I wanted to go to Branson for Christmas. I've wanted to do it, well, not forever, because I just recently heard there's Christmas lights. A couple of years ago. There's Christmas lights, and it's a big thing. I realize it's Christmas. This is not a Christmas show, but I'm going back because, we skipped a couple weeks there. So I apologize. So I wanted to go to Branson and look at the lights. I heard it's pretty. I hear people go. Like, it's a thing, and I want to see them. So it has been built up in my head for at least the last year. Like, I'm going to Branson. And by the way, I've only been there 3 times in my life. It's not like I'm a weekend Branson excursion guy. So I just thought that would be neat. Well, I bring it up one day to Leighton. Leighton's like, that does sound cool. And then he got on and he started doing some research about cabins and all that. Now, I'm just going to tell it from my side. Leighton, he can start talking whenever, but I think we're going to Branson. So he immediately finds kind of a cool cabin, and he's like, yeah, this is good. Let's just throw in our money. There was 3 families that went, and I said, yeah, it'll be a good deal. Well, I don't know. I'm talking about the day of the trip. We're leaving. I just flew in from Pittsburgh. That's my current office home. And so I get in the vehicle and we start driving. And then that's the first time I get on the GPS and discover that this thing's like an hour past Branson, which annoyed me immediately because I'm like, I wanted to be by Branson. I wanted to go look at the lights. This is an hour away. Like, this is not what I had built up in my head. And what you don't know, I'm real, I don't know if selfish is the word, but like when I get something in my head, like that's what I want to do. It's all about I at that point. That's what I want to do. I don't care what anybody else wants to do. That's what I want to do because that's what was in my head. Right. Anyway, so we're driving and, about an hour past Branson, we get on these roads and they're real windy, and it's nighttime. You can't see anything. So I have discovered in my life the absolute worst place in any trip, if you were going to drive for any trip, is to drive through windy roads at nighttime.
Yeah.
It's the worst. You can't see anything. Everybody in the car, minus the driver's car sick. Which annoys me because then I roll the windows down, which I like anyway. And then they're like, roll the windows up. And I'm like, this is what's going to make you better.
Yeah.
So I pull up at this cabin in the middle of nowhere. I got to be honest, the cabin, I thought it was pretty cool.
Backtrack just a second.
Sorry for the interruption, everybody. Sorry for interrupting the show. I was just going to tell you, hey, I need you to know that people say, where'd you get that lavish beard? And I say, well, the lavish beard I grew because I'm a lavish beard grower. But The reason it's so silky smooth is because I use Winchester Ranch Beard Co. products. Top oils on the market. I've been using them for years, or last year because it just started, but that's why my face looks so good. Tell your friends and use that. Okay. Talk to you later. Forgot one. American Survival Co. Everybody, American Survival Co. They're the top survival school in the entire world. I know when everything for my survival needs, that's how I use American Survival Co. Go check out their website at americansurvivalco.com. Get all the details and information about team building exercises and all the things that you can do. It's really an awesome place. And the two guys who own the place, they also are the host of the new Netflix show, Snowflake Mountain. And that's awesome. Go check them out. Now back to the show. Love you. Yeah.
Windy roads, dark time. Somebody who is familiar with the area just right behind you the entire time, just riding.
Oh,
that drives me.
Exactly that. Yeah. So it obviously happened to you too.
Yes.
Yeah. So that people riding me. I pulled over one time, not like to get out and swing at them, but I pulled over because they were riding me on another road and let them go around. And then I thought, I'm going to ride them. That's what I thought. Well, it was dark and the roads were windy. So they blazed through it. I'm like, that's stupid.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I never got to ride them.
Yeah.
And I thought they were just being rude. Well, it turns out once I got out of the way, maybe I was slower than they were.
Yeah.
Yeah. Which I thought was, whatever. I wasn't happy about it.
Anyways, you pull up to the place.
Yeah. So I pulled up to the place and the cab, it was dark, but the way it was laid out, it was cool. There was a fire pit, which if you know me at all, or listen to these podcasts throughout the duration, I love, fire pits. I like fires at nighttime, like sitting around the fire. By the way, my favorite coat, the Ghost Whisperer, the Mountain Hardwear Ghost Whisperer, everybody. I've owned two of them. They're only $375. So you get really excited when embers burn holes all in your sleeves. I was pretty excited about that. And now it's not out of commission. It's just a true outdoor coat now.
Yeah.
Yeah. Anyway, the trip is fine, but then I go on to discover that Branson is over an hour away. Mm. The closest convenience store, we know this, from looking it up, was 6.1 miles away, and the closest town was 37 miles away.
Yeah, we're literally out in the middle of nowhere.
Yeah. So remember how we were going to Branson? We were in Arkansas.
Yeah.
We weren't even in Missouri.
Not even in Missouri.
And I wasn't like really mad at like I wasn't super mad or anything. Not grudge holding mad, but I'm like, how are we in Arkansas?
Okay, so now let me tell my side when we're researching it. So we playing this, and it's like, oh yeah, let's do it. So let's find a place. Who's gonna look up to find the place? It fell on my lap. So
it'll be falling on mine next year. I guarantee that.
So now I've already started looking. But so to play off of what he said, I too wanted to go to Branson for the lights because I've been told by numerous people, oh, you got to see it. It's awesome. Yada, 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 yada. So I'm trying to find
that was actually a lot of yadas.
Yeah. So I'm trying to find a place big enough for everybody, but yet somewhat close to Branson. So when I see an hour, I'm like, that's not going to be too bad. We can either hit it on the way in, not knowing the Pittsburgh situation yet, or the next day we could wake up and just go. So it's probably not going to be a big deal. And then we get there, and I realize how long it takes to just get there. And then the next day, we realized how far, what was the store, 6 miles away, but it was like 20 minutes, 20 or 30 minutes.
Oh, yeah.
Like, it was a drive.
Because of the windy roads.
Yes. So, fast forward to Sunday, I wanted to see how far it was, and it was an hour, but I mean, it felt like.
But I didn't hate the place. No, I didn't.
It was awesome.
But so when I tell that story, that's just the drive. And to be honest, Branson's not a metropolis anyway. Like the actual strip and all that. It's not like they got a bunch of theaters, but it's not like there's a real high-end shopping kind of, I mean, that's how I feel. So it's not like we were going to spend our whole day in Branson anyway. So it's not about that. I just really wanted to see the lights. But being out there, it was super cool. But the next day, we're still just hanging around the fire, and our kids were running and playing hide and go seek all day long. Well, there was a river close. Because he had got there during the day, so he knew where the river was. Yeah. So our other buddy, he had already been to the river. It wasn't that far away, maybe 3/4 of a mile, probably something like that. Which, I didn't think of the parenting move that we did. I didn't think how cool the parenting move that we pulled off when we sent 2 13-year-olds, 3 10-year-olds, 9, 10. Yeah, we're like, just walk to the river.
Yeah, go explore.
Walk to the river. Now, in everybody else's defense, there was water in the river, but not really water in the river.
Yeah,
it was like ankle deep. Yeah, it was like ankle deep water. But they have radios, and so we're just sitting around the fire. And I don't have the radio, but one of our kids got the radio. Yeah, one of the little girls has the radio, and they're just talking back and forth. Hey, are you there yet? No, it's just back and forth. And just, are you okay? Just checking in. All of a sudden on the radio, one of the little girls starts screaming on the radio. They're like, hello, you okay? Because you don't really know, but her mouth, I can't even, I got a little puffy thing on my microphone here. So you don't really know. It was like she did like that.
Exactly.
You had no idea what she was saying. So it's like, what's wrong? And then she screamed coyote. She said,
that was the clear thing that came through.
Yeah, but now in my adult head here, coyotes are scared of people. And the only way that an animal like that is going to attack anybody, especially a group, is if they have rabies. That'd be the only way. So by the way, which could be a possibility, but I wasn't even nervous about I was like, surely there's not a rabid coyote. That's what I thought. And anyway, so I don't believe it because coyotes would run. Like they're scared of people. Mm. Well, she's screaming coyote, and he's like, you okay? And I think she said no, maybe. So Leighton and John, they take off running towards the river. Now, everybody knows the way you can forget the past. You can forget my life's past and running abilities and all that. I'm chubby. My knees hurt, back hurt. I'm just saying, I'm not running. I mean, even if I did run, I get halfway across the field, it'd take me longer to get there because I'd have to breathe. So I wasn't running. They took off running. And I just stood up, and then I looked at them, and then I looked at my vehicle, and then I'm like, oh, I'll just drive as far as I can. That's what I thought. And so I went in to get the keys. They'd already ran to the edge of the woods, and then they turned around and walked back. Now, and then that was confusing because I'm like, were they just playing, like I initially thought? And so you guys were walking back to the house, and I walked out in the field. I'm like, well, let's just walk down there, just because, they're not saying anything else. But that's our little girls are at the river. It's like like we're man from Snowy River out there. The girls are. You girls, you go set camp out on the prairie. We'll see you in 5 years. I hope it works. So I walk out there. We all three walked up. And the girls were playing normal, and they're petting this coyote.
Yeah.
Well, they really weren't petting it, but it was around, right? Like it was just around.
Standing around.
So I asked because the girl who was screaming, I don't strike her as an actress. She doesn't talk at all. As a matter of fact, it's one of my daughter's best friends, and she doesn't speak. They've been best friends for however long, 5 years. She didn't even talk. Still to this day. And it annoys me. Where I'm like, hey, what do you want? Hey, do you want this? And she'll just I'm like, I don't. And then, I'm nice about it because it's not my kid. You don't want to yell at other little kids. But, I know her pretty well. So when she keeps going, then I start saying stuff like, I know you know what I'm saying. Answer me because I don't know what is. I have no idea. Say something. You're going to have to speak with your mouth. I'm not your mom and dad. You're going to have to talk. That's what I said.
Yeah.
She usually smiles when I say that, which is why do I have to say all that for you to give me a one-word answer?
Yeah.
Crap. So anyway, that's how it goes. So the fact that she was screaming coyote, there was some real fear there. So we get down there and we're like, what happened? And there's why they screamed. When they got in the river, 5 girls. Were there 5 girls?
There was 2,
no.
6, 7, 8.
Yeah, 8 little girls. There's a lot of girls there. Little girls. This rabid dog. It wasn't rabid. He was running down the river directly at him.
Yeah.
It was, it looked, whatever it was.
Husky-ish, maybe.
Yeah, we don't.
Something like
coyote.
that. Yeah. Coyote.
Large coyote.
Yeah.
So it's sprinting towards them, and that's why they were screaming, because it was, you don't know. Nobody actually knows. This dog is running towards them through the river, and they panic.
Yeah.
And I started asking them, like, what did you do? And they all said, we tried to run. I'm like, why would you run? None of you are going to be able to outrun this thing. Like, nobody grabbed a rock or a stick or anything there. We tried to run. So then, it comes down to that thing that people always say, like, they're like, hey, man, I forget how it goes. Like, were you fast or were you the fastest one? Like, I just had to be faster than the last one.
Oh, yeah.
I completely blew that, however people word that. Like, I don't got to be first. I just can't be last.
Yeah.
Yeah. So anyway. But that all took off. That was the thing. Well, that thing, this coyote dog, it followed us.
Yeah.
Back to the house. Now, you're not supposed to have dogs at this Airbnb. Well, this thing's with us. So, if there is cameras, do we have a dog? Like, you wouldn't know because it walked it. It took a couple steps in the house a couple times. So I didn't know if it was like a house coyote or what. I don't know. I'm kind of confused by it. And, we didn't really know to pet it because we weren't real sure about it, but it never left. Well, once it determined that it was loyal,
yeah,
we gave it chicken and steak.
Oh, that dog had the best 2 nights of its life.
Yeah, that dog's confused right now, though. He probably laid on that porch for the next 2 weeks. Like, I know they're coming out anytime. So I don't know what happened to the coyote dog.
She tried to jump in the car when we were leaving. It was sad.
What's sad is that everybody wanted to take the dog. Everybody actually wanted it.
That was a good dog.
Yeah, but we didn't, it sat on your lap though. But it was older. It was an older dog, and like its hips hurt, you could see. So I was scared when it jumped up on me, like in the chair. And I was scared because even though it seemed like a nice dog, because its hips hurt, if I were to touch it wrong or to try to push it off, maybe it would have snapped at me. So, that made me a little nervous for that. Yeah, but I've never had a coyote dog. No,
that was the first for me too.
Yeah, it's the first coyote dog that we've ever experienced in the woods. That's the first time that an animal has followed me back from the Snowy River.
Yeah.
Yeah. So it's a good time. That's what we did. I mean, that was like the missing piece. We probably would have told those stories, but the podcast gear didn't. I'm not putting it on late, and I didn't get it either. I didn't think about it either. So
it was totally on me.
So what's happening right now? Since we're back to current, I'm sure I'll tell another story from the past couple weeks, but sadly, if you're hearing this right now, because of the day that you're hearing it, the Buffalo Bills officially got beat. I know this is not a football podcast, but I'm just bringing you up to speed that America's team is out. So
your American team is out.
So there's that.
America's team is still in.
Yeah, no, they're red, white, and blue. So everybody knows it, and it's Buffalo because that used to run. Run the plains. Probably the same river that we were at.
Probably
on that too. Yeah. Yeah.
So since we're on the football subject, now that they're knocked out, are you gonna predict who's gonna either go to the Super Bowl or win it, or are you just not interested?
The Cowboys are gonna win it.
The Cowboys?
Yeah, Cowboys.
Nah, the Cowboys aren't making it past the Eagles.
Well, I would pick Cowboys over Eagles any day.
That's a weird choice.
I mean, Cowboys, they don't fly, but they can shoot guns and they can ride horses. And the Eagles just fly in the air.
Well, if you go in Philly, they can shoot guns. So
they do. It turns out they do in Philly. No, I'll get into that because my office is in Pittsburgh. So I thought a couple of things. I used to have an office around Cleveland, and every weekend I go to Pittsburgh. I guess that's irrelevant, but I would go to Pittsburgh every weekend. I didn't remember the difference between the two. I just remember that they were both cold, so I didn't realize until I was in Pittsburgh every day that Pittsburgh, being what I think is in the Northeast, like in my head, I'm picturing it being in the Northeast. It's not the far tip, of course. It's not in Maine or anything. It snows like crazy in Cleveland because of the lake effect. Snows like crazy in Buffalo. In Pittsburgh, because there's not a lake there, it barely snows in Pittsburgh. Do you know that?
Nope, I did not know that.
Yeah, because I remember thinking like, oh, it's going to snow. And yeah, I see flurries. I'm still in the Northeast, but it doesn't really snow that much. And half the time I've been there for a couple months. And half the time that I've been there, it was warmer in Pittsburgh than it was here.
Really? That's what I was just about to ask.
Yeah, it was warmer. Like just the other day, like the day I flew home, the day I flew home, it was 60 or 62 in Pittsburgh that day. And it was 57 back here, which I thought was pretty wild. This week, though, when I got there, I had snow in my windows at the airport. So, and I try to be down the middle, and everybody knows. Like when I do this podcast, I stay away from certain topics. I try not to be controversial in anything, just because I just want people to laugh in general. I don't really, even if I have opinions on certain things, I don't share them here just because I think this is different. Right. But I have really not made it a secret. I don't like TSA.
No, you have not made that a secret.
I do not like transport security. I don't know where they hire these people. I don't. I mean, I just don't know where they hire them. They got to give them a test. And if you are unintelligent, you're hired immediately. So, however they do the test, however the IQ test is run, if you're in the bottom 15%, they're like, hired. And I wondered, like, why do they do that? Because some of these people, like the other day, he said, okay, you got to take your computer out. I know some people have TSA, the pre-check. I used to. I don't now. I haven't really noticed it affect me as far as time-wise. Like, I really haven't. So that's why I haven't went and re-upped my TSA pre-check, because it doesn't, I mean, you're not holding me up that much.
Yeah.
So that's it. But I go through the line, and this guy's like, take your computer out. You got to take your shoes off, belt off, any metal things, can't have water bottles. I mean, that's just simple stuff. Well, the guy's like, any liquids at all. Now, I fly every week, and I've flown every week in the past. I mean, for some years here. I've never taken my toothpaste out of the bag. I've never taken my beard oil. I don't even really have a big beard, but I got it in there, Winchester Ranch.
Yep.
But I got it in my bag, and I take it with me. I've never taken liquids out. And he said, of any amount. I said, my toothpaste? He's like, he says, yes. Now, remember, there's 1,000 other people behind me, and nobody's taking their toothpaste out. And I did, because he said it. I took my bathroom bag out. I was like, I literally have never heard that. He's like, well, it's on the board. And he tried to spit out whatever rule. whatever CO65829 says right there, says 2006. No, it hasn't. And you're an idiot, and you're not that intelligent. The guy's not intelligent at all. I mean, you got to see the guy. I don't want to make fun of appearances, right? That goes against what I'm trying to do here. So I'm just saying, but I am simply going to say, use your imagination on whatever you think he looks like. But if you're the bottom 15%, you are hired. So if you suck at taking tests and you want a job, get down to TSA tomorrow.
Yeah. Hashtag sponsor.
Hashtag TSA. Thank you for making it great every day. It's unbelievable. And the two worst airports in the world. Well, now I'm going deeper.
Let's go.
I'm just saying, like, the smallest airports are the ones that act like.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, I don't want to.
I know what you mean.
They're the ones that act like terrorists are running through the front of the gate.
Yeah.
Like, just get real. And then the next part that they do that's so dumb, if they are so protecting, when they start backing up 2,000 people, guess what they do? They bring in the old school metal detector and just like, just walk through like your cows. And they just wave you through like 100 at a time. It's just pure stupidity. Like this is and they have authority. And now it's like those, what do you call those? Those movies, the kind of movies, Maze Runner, Mockingjay. What's that? The girl that shoots the bow and arrow, the kids.
Oh, you just watched the
Mockingjay. What is that show? Anyway, dystopian type books.
Yeah.
I'll think of the movie in a second, but dystopian type books. That's what it's like walking in airports now. And I'm not a conspiracy guy. I'm not even trying to, that's not me. But they got TVs, and the transportation director is like, you better follow the rules. And if not, you will be arrested. That's what, like, it plays on TVs. Like telling he's like, so then there's signs that say don't argue with them. It's pretty much like, don't argue, don't call them names, don't whatever. Which I'm not going to run through and call them names, but I'm saying that those things. So the unintelligent guy can say, hey, he's been mouthing me. Take him to the back. Yeah. It's just, it just burns me up. And what you guys don't know is I'm a nice guy. Like, I don't even say anything. So the fact, if you say hi, I'll say hi. Right? If you don't, then I won't talk either. If you're making a mean face, I don't make one back, but I don't say anything. So I know the rules. You know how I know the rules? Because they sit over there and they tell you the rules 100 times. And the more authoritative that they like to feel, the more times they're going to tell you. Because take your belts off, move your shoe. You know, they just start talking. So obviously I take it all off. I mean, if you just watch me, I pat all my pockets 5 times. I have checked. You can go back on look on camera. You don't even have to be out there. You can just watch it with no sound. And that guy's checked his pockets 40 times. There's nothing in there. So I don't talk to the people. I know I've said this not that long ago, but now I'm all fired up about it. But so like, hey, take your belt off. Do you have a belt on? That's what they say. Do you have a belt on? And I don't talk because it's a stupid question.
That's such a stupid question.
And they're like, are you wearing a belt? No, sir. This is the first time. This is the guy that runs your scanner. I already took it off because you told me, no, I don't have a belt on. So then I walk to the line. Then there's a guy that's walking the line. There's a guy back there where you're scanning your bags, like running it through the machine. And then there's a guy walking the line to walk through the detector. And they're saying, you have your belt on? The guy you just heard him ask me 9 seconds ago. You just heard him ask me. So when that guy asked me, I don't talk. He's like, you have your belt on? And I just keep looking forward. Sir, do you have a belt on? Sir, do you have a belt? Right? I mean, I respond eventually because I don't want to go in the secret room or whatever they do. And so I'm like, yes, or no, I do not have a belt on. He just asked me. I took it off. No, I do not. Then I step in the scanner. And the person at the scanner is like, sir, do you have a belt on? Why? Who are we paying? Like, why are we paying 3 people to ask the same question?
Especially the guy that's looking at the scanner. Oh man,
you're paying 3 people to do the same job that one could do. It's just stupidity.
Maybe stop wearing belts.
I don't even have a belt on. As a matter of fact, I do wear a belt because I fly all the time. My belt is kind that you can wear through airport security. So even when they say, do you have a belt on? I say no because it's plastic and it never reads.
Yeah.
It's just dumb. And if they ever do, because sometimes randomly, even when you don't have anything on, you're like, I need to check your right side. So they'll check your right side and they're like, oh, you're good. And they don't even check, they just touch. But I did have an actual pat down the other day for a guy. Do you guys remember older people? Tackleberry from Police Academy, real intense guy. Well, older people know the movie. He's real intense, Tackleberry is. And that's like this TSA guy. So I'm going through the line the other day. This is the first extensive pat down I've ever had.
On you?
Yeah. And it's because I'll save it for the end. So I everything's out of my pockets, just like I say, just like they always are. I walk through the scanner. And he's like, I'm going to have to check you. And I said, okay. But, once again, normally it's like right side, left side. Okay, you're good. So I said, okay. And he's like, do you want to do the pat down here or do you want to go into a private room? And I said, I'm like, nah, man, we might as well do it here. If you're going to get to touching stuff, let's do it in front of everybody. That's what I told him. And so but he didn't smile because he's an idiot, because he was in the bottom 3% who, he was he was in the bottom 3%, so he got to do the pat downs. And so so he like is explaining to me what he's going to do. He's like, raise your arms, but I like raise them above my head, not like I'm going to jail, but just so you could feel my sides. He's like, arms to the. He said, arms out like a T, and I'm like, oh, all right. And so he
said big T or little T.
Yeah, and this guy told me to spread my legs. He didn't kick them, but he told me to spread my legs. And he was like doing real in depth, like it's a family show too.
Investigative work.
Yeah, he was doing real investigative work there. In between, in between my thighs and twig and berries. So like he was like really getting in there. And so then there was nothing in there, and because I'm not mouthing him while he's doing it, but I'm just kind of mad, and he'll say something, and now I'm annoyed, so my answers are annoyed. And then he gets to my back pocket. I mean, and he checked me for probably 30 seconds. Like it wasn't quick, like probably 30 seconds, and redid it. So he gets in my back pocket, and he's like, "What's this?" What did he say? He says, "What's this in your back pocket?" He's like, "Is that a knife?" And I reached. I was like, a knife? He's like, he's like, is that a knife? I'm like, why would I have a pocket knife in my back pocket? No. And I pulled it out. It was hotel card. He's like, what are these? It was hotel keys. I had two. They were in my back because they're magnetic and they read. That's what hit. Like, that's why he did the test. So it was hotel keys. And he said something like, how was I supposed to know it wasn't a knife? And I'm like, what? Just something like, it was something like idiotic like that. I'm like, what? Like, they're hotel keys. And he's like, well, they're not supposed to. I was like, what do you want me to do? Okay, I didn't check my back pocket. They're hotel keys. I was like, can I throw them away? Is that okay? Because I don't want to carry them through the airport.
Yeah.
In case I get searched again. Gosh, I'm going to say it's a family show. Just cover your kids' ears. I hate TSA. Hate them.
Maybe he thought you're going to like whittle a shank on the plane.
I don't know. You never know about these people. And then, all this happened since we've done the last podcast, by the way.
Yeah.
That's why I'm telling you. So then I use a straight razor for anybody that doesn't know, when I'm getting those up close shaves, where I like to line up my beard there and my face. I use a straight razor, but not like a real one, just the little temporary safety blades. That's what goes in it. So I don't carry razors because you can't. Even though it would not do anything, but I don't carry them because I know that you're not supposed to. But I still have the actual body of the razor, just no razor attached. So they scan it through the thing, and the lady moves my bag over to the side, and she's like trying to show me how knowledgeable she is. She's like, "Sir, the straight razor, we're gonna have to take it unless you want to take it out to your car." She didn't even open my bag yet, but she saw it on the scanner.
Yeah, and
so I'm like, no, I don't think we're going to be doing that today. And she's like, what? And I'm like, well, I was like, there's no razor in there. I'm like, hold up. There is a straight razor in there, but there's no razor in the blade. The razor blades are not in there. And so she's like, we're still going to have to take it. And I'm like, you're not taking it. I did say that. I'm like, you're not taking it. There is no razor in there, and you're not taking it. I can guarantee that.
Yeah.
And so she's like, I'll have to talk to my supervisor. Well, then go talk to your supervisor. I didn't say that part, but so she walks off, and I'm annoyed. There's nothing you can do.
They're going to get the big guns.
No, there's nothing you can do because the TVs tell you if you talk back, they're going to take you to secret prison or wherever. So I don't say anything, but I'm not happy. So and you know how like when you can't do anything, I just do stuff like. The only way I can even do anything to TSA is not answer their questions for like 5 times. Which I don't answer their questions for like 5 times, or when the trays stack up, because I got like 3-4 trays, I just leave them and push them backwards. I push them back towards the scanner, and then I walk off.
Lloyd is so petty. Oh my gosh!
I don't know what else to do, but because you can't do anything. But I don't do that. Now listen to this. See, you take it like I'm getting all carried away. If I walk up and they're like, let me see your license. How are you today, sir? Can I see your license? Like, oh, pretty good. How are you?
Yeah.
I was like, good. Oh, thank you. Then maybe he says something. Maybe I don't. Maybe I do. The person at the scanner, if they say, "Hey, how are you?" It's like, "Yeah, I'm good. How are you?" Even the person who's patting you, or standing there, who would be the patter, if they talk, I'll speak to them and I smile and then I go on. That's it. But you start getting some of these idiots. It's what it is.
So what the big guns say when they came out about your straight razor?
Oh yeah, of course I could keep it because there's no blade in there, you morons. Like what do you? It's just well, I don't know. Those are my TSA stories.
Yeah, that was great. I enjoyed those a lot.
Those people. I'm not, and I want pre-check. I don't think I want. I don't. It's not that big a deal. It was like $85 to get. It's not a thing. But sometimes so many people, pre-check is advertised now. It's not like in the airports. Like sign up today. Sometimes the TSA line, sometimes the TSA line is just as long as the regular line.
Oh yeah.
So now that it's like that, I'm still not saying that you can't walk up other airports. At Pittsburgh, if you got TSA, you usually skirt along pretty fast. But there's a long line for that. There's no point in spending the money. I don't think. I mean, it's $85. It's not like it's gonna like break you, but yeah, that's it. So that's everything I just told you. All happened since we done the last podcast, like for the TSA stuff. You know, minus that one thing I re-brought up.
Yeah,
wasn't happy about it. So I hope your time's been good. It's been a minute. We're moving on to. I never thought about this until I put this set of clothes on, because as we all know, this is actually, we're doing this on Sunday, even though you get it during the week. I got in my closet after Buffalo lost, and I got the baseball jersey on.
Yeah.
Because I always say put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. So I put this baseball jersey on. And then, I'm halfway here to do the podcast when I realize I have a Cincinnati baseball jersey on. It's Cincinnati who beat Buffalo today.
Yeah, I was wondering. Why he did that, but
yeah, it's because it was my favorite Pete Rose jersey, but just wasn't the smartest move I've made. Anyway, listen, love everybody. You got to put Pete Rose in the Hall of Fame. There's a lot more that's happened, but we'll get into it again. There may be 2 this week. We may be trying to play catch up.
Yeah.
Let's just see what happens. Anyway, love everybody. Have a good week.